Morning, Stuart. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Yeah.
We know you're there somewhere. All we see is mostly a silhouette.
Yeah. I'm trying to switch my camera.
Why don't you why don't you do this, Stuart? Why don't you I take it it looks like you're in an office chair. So why don't you just swing around and face the sunlight?
Yeah.
Then we see the back of his head. That's good.
Right. Right. Okay. I'll try that in a minute. Hold on.
You know what might be good for an experiment? Why not get a piece of cardboard, cover it with aluminum foil, and put it on the desk in front of you. We use this in photography all the time. We'll use a reflector to fill in shadows.
Just
doing something like that might
I'll
help.
get a,
Even a big white piece of cardboard in front of you, and then use that backlight as fill by reflecting it.
Right. Okay. I'll be right with you. I'm just trying to change cameras here. Let's see. The eCam, short camera. Huh.
Morning, Frank.
hey, good morning, all.
Morning.
How is everybody on this another day in paradise?
Good.
Good. Get your floor all done, Greg?
Yes, we did.
So let's see it.
Hang on a second. I'll do that in just a moment here. Give me a second here.
I got to go attend to a couple of things. I'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. Decided to change cameras and I use eyeglasses. That's a real good little app.
It is. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with the beta that I've got. So that's why the image is not as sharp, and it's also not as magnified as it usually is. So I couldn't get eyeglasses to work, so I figured, well, I can live with it for right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, let me see if I can get this to work.
Is it okay? I'm recording this to my YouTube channel.
I'm recording a copy of it, but you can record it locally to your own computer if you want to.
Okay.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Something occurred to me. Is it possible to, the way we're in this software making a recording of it, could we watch a live TV program on our computer and record it at the same time on the computer?
Not with Apple. You have to buy a Apple, their agreement with the Motion Picture Industry Association says that whatever you're watching on the screen, they can't directly copy it because of copyright infringement. So they've turned that ability off. You'll just get a blank screen. It's like if you're watching a movie and you want to take a screen snapshot of the movie, you can't do that. Now you can of a YouTube video, but you can't of a movie. It's not that it can't be done. It's just that Apple has decided to be straight with everybody, and they won't let you, with their built-in software, they won't let you do that. You can, however, use third-party utilities to get around that issue.
How expensive are these third-party utilities?
Oh, $20, $30. No, they're no big deal.
Can you what are the names of some of them?
Well, the one that I use for capturing, the one I use that works not every time, but most of the time is Downie, DOWNIE, and it's like $20.
Alert from calendar. Some cameras.
By the way, that alert just reminds me of something. I've got a problem. I use Chrome as my browser,
Right.
and And of late, they've got a new thing where apparently well, no, it isn't Chrome per se. I think it's generated from Microsoft Office. I've got an old version of Microsoft Office, real old, like Office 7 or something like that. And lately, during the day, and this goes on and on and on till I get a whole string of them, I get these pop-up messages with loud voice announcements that come up just like the ones do from the computer that tells you, you know, that an update is available. You know how it gives you the little thing in the upper left part of the screen?
Right.
Well, I get these from Microsoft trying to sell me either malware protection or telling me to that the disk cleaner or something like that. And they get, I mean, it's really annoying. Is there some way to disable that?
Huh. I have no idea. I saw Bruce was on for a moment. Maybe he's got an idea on that.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, everybody.
How is
Did you
everybody?
hear his question, Bruce?
Good morning. Good morning on the West Coast, and good afternoon for those on the East Coast, which I may be the only one. But in answer to Bart's question, I don't know off the top of my head, Bart, but if there may be a preference setting in the browser, which in this case is Chrome, and I haven't really used Chrome as my main browser ever. I've tested and fooled around with it in the past, but I've never had much real experience with it. So I'm not familiar with how the settings differ from Chrome to other browsers, but you may have to look around because browsers these days, modern browsers have an awful lot of preferences and settings, but somewhere in there you may find a way to turn it off or at least mute it so the audio doesn't, you know, come blaring out at you unexpectedly. That's all I can think of is just hunt around. And the other thing is, your friend is, as usual, is Google or your favorite search engine. You know, look for something on the web, like, and put in the name of the browser at the beginning or end of the query, Chrome, you know, Chrome pop-up something or other, disable Chrome pop-up or disable Chrome audio, something, you know, very specific, and see what you get. The more specific, the better, up to a point, because if you just say disable Chrome audio, you know, that's not going to be the type of audio you want to disable. But if you said disable Chrome pop-up audio, you might get something in that search results that would help. Otherwise, I don't really have anything, I'm afraid, more than that, I'm sorry to say.
I've looked through the preferences, and if there is something that will disable it, it isn't obvious. I've been through all of the Chrome preferences.
One of the problems with disabling it in the browser like that is that, you know, it's going to disable it for everything of that category. And there may be other things that you might actually want for some reason. Probably not in this case, but, you know, just keep in mind that you're going to, if you turn it off in the browser, it's going to turn off that feature for any pop-up, not just the annoying ones you don't want. It's not going to be able to discriminate, in other words. So anyway, wow, what's going on?
That's what
the lovely hardwood floor here. But
yeah, that's what the new floor looks like.
Okay.
Anyway, that's
I'm
about
just
all I can think of, Bart.
Unfortunately, there's
you know,
all the I had to move to be able to put that floor in. So.
Oh, that's your new floor there.
Yes.
After all is said and done, it looks nice, at least on video here. But Bart, you might also, if you don't see a setting in preferences in Chrome that looks like it will do exactly what you want, you might see if there's some kind of third-party extension or plugin, because there may be a plugin or extension to Chrome that's designed to fix this problem. Think of it this way. I always look at a problem and say, is this something that's unique to me, or is this something that a lot of people have gone before me and had the same problem? I think you're probably not the first one to have this happen. And because of that, someone may have solved it, and rather than reinvent the wheel, you may be able to just take advantage of some plugin or setting and preferences that's already there, you know. So anyway, that's all I have
one
for
other
that one.
suggestion he might try.
Nice floor, Greg.
Oh, well.
Hope it was worth all the trouble for that and the other remodeling.
It is. We ended up redoing the bedroom upstairs, the hallway upstairs, the staircase, and finally this room. The only thing we've got left to do for this expenditure this year is to have these drapes replaced, because they're just falling apart. They're 25 years old. So they'll come out sometime next week and they did the upstairs drapes already, and so they'll redo these drapes down here. So
Drapes are incredibly expensive, it seems
Yep.
like, for what
Oh,
they
well.
are.
Yeah.
But once every 25 years or whatever.
It's okay. I mean, we're gonna be here till the day we die. Might as well get our money's worth out of it.
That's right. You know what else I found is surprisingly expensive for what it is? Are lampshades.
Yes, they are.
Lampshades are surprisingly expensive to go out and buy a brand new one for, to fit a given lamp if the shade needs to be replaced for some reason. But there are places that will reline, or whatever the term is. It's not reupholster, but they'll redo it for you. They'll reuse the frame and put all new fabric or material on them. And I don't know, and I suppose that saves a few bucks, but. Hello, Ray.
Greg, regarding your new floor and that, I gather you're happy with it. NASA, when they were doing the space station, they decided they were going to put a high-end floor on it. They spent millions and millions of dollars. They put in the floor. They got the astronauts up there, and they discovered they couldn't walk on it.
Oh, well.
You'd think they would just put Velcro everywhere to stick.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Come on, Ray.
Clicking onto your message, I found it in spam. I don't know why it got down to spam, but
Not me.
it's
That's
there.
totally on your end.
And then,
You've got
then
a room. You should be able to click on that message again and say, not junk.
well, yeah, but it's why it got there in the first place, I don't know. Second thing is I go to turn on the computer, and I use Safari still. And I click on Safari, and the message comes up, Safari can't find the server. And so the screen is fairly blank, but it says, can't find the server. What do I do?
Well, in most cases, it's just a glitch of somewhere, and you can always turn off and on your modem, give it a minute or two or whatever it is for it to reset, and then reboot the computer. And I'd say 9 out of 10 times that usually solves the problem. Don't you agree, Bruce?
What, to reboot your modem?
Yeah.
Your Wi-Fi router, you mean?
Yeah.
In what case? He said that I can't find a server.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a couple.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what's causing it. That might, the thing about restarting your router is that it's so gosh darn easy to do that it's worth doing almost ahead of a lot of other things that are much more time consuming and involved and more technical. So, I mean, you don't have a lot to lose by trying, but just remember, as we keep going toward the more wired or wireless world, the more and more stuff we have that connects to our network, the more of an impact there is on all these other devices when you restart your router, because suddenly they can't get to the internet if they need to. Now, for most of us right now, that probably doesn't matter, but someday it might make more of a difference, and most things are tolerant enough that if the router's off for a few seconds or a couple minutes and then it's back on, it probably won't matter anyhow, as long as it eventually comes back on. So that's not something to worry too much about now, but it is something to keep in the back of your mind. So,
One more item.
yes.
I do a lot of save to desktop. I find something I want to read. I save to desktop. Then I click on the item on the desktop, and I get Yahoo. I get Yahoo every time I turn around here, and I can't get rid of the stupid Yahoo.
Yeah, I get the same thing when I go to and do a
Well,
search.
you guys are a bunch of yahoos. That's the problem.
Yeah, a bunch of Yahoos.
Yahoo. Yeah, I have the same thing. I'll go and I'll do a Google search, and all of a sudden I'm getting it's automatically switches to Yahoo. Then I get a bunch of their junk on my screen.
Well, now I don't use Yahoo, or not for all practical purposes. So when you guys say you get Yahoo, what specifically do you mean? Do you mean that your browser opens to a Yahoo web page or something else? Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much so. Is Yahoo affiliated with AOL? Because I still use AOL.
I'm not using AOL. I use GoDaddy as my because my website's on GoDaddy and everything else. So I use GoDaddy for my email, for everything else. So I'm not going through AOL. And I get it too, Bruce. I'll go into specifically into Google, and then I'll type in my search, what I'm searching on, and it will come back, and all of a sudden I'm in Yahoo instead of Google.
Let me ask a quick question, Ray. When
Yes.
this only happens when you save something to the desktop and then you click on that desktop icon to look at it later?
Yes. Every time I do that, it goes to Yahoo, and I get these beautiful pictures from Yahoo, and it's always search, Yahoo search.
Now,
You should be able to, hang on just a second. This might be the issue, but take one of the items, like there's a screenshot right there on, you can see the screenshot that I just selected there on the right.
Yep.
And do a right mouse click on it and do a get info.
Well, I do.
Okay, and then look down here, look over here in the get info window down
I do
here.
Command Shift 4.
That's fine. What you want to do is you want to get to this get info window here, whatever, on any item, and you can see what its default opening up. So do one of those and see. You can see it. I could change this to anything, and then by default, the next time I click on that, it would open up that application rather than opening up the preview application in this particular case. So you
The only way I can save anything is I have to go to up here on the top here. God, how do I get out of here now? I have your screen here.
Well, you can always do a Command Tab and switch to another window, or you can say
Okay,
what is it?
I have to go to oh God. With the window that I'm in right now, I can't move this thing around. Okay, there it goes. I have to go bookmark. The only way to save it, I have to go bookmark, and then it puts it in up on top there where I can click on it.
Well, now, Ray, there's more than one way to save a web page, and it may be that changing to a different method might help you. I'm not sure exactly why it's doing what it's doing, but for example, in most browsers, if you have a web page open and you want to save it, let's say to the desktop or a folder somewhere, you go up to the file menu at the top in the browser next to, in this case, Safari or whatever browser you're using, Chrome, Firefox, whatever, and you pull down the file menu and you hit save, you'll get some choices in there that say save as, and I think, Greg, could you maybe demonstrate the different save options on your screen there while I talk?
On a regular website?
Yeah, just any website. Just pull something up at random. Go to apple.com or CNN or something.
Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff on the screen here. AirPods. Who's
How come it's not following this? There we go.
Okay, now let's say you wanted to save that web page.
Or just a picture. Or you want to save the web page?
I think that's what he's doing, aren't you, Ray? In order to read the article later or something.
right?
So let's say you had a news article and you want to save it. You go on. Are you using Safari, Ray?
I'm using Safari. Yep.
Okay, on a Mac. So File and then Save As. Go ahead and do that, Greg.
Under edit, wouldn't you want to do a select all first?
Well, if you
no,
want-
not if you're saving the whole web page.
If you want
You're
to
saving
save
the whole
the
web
page,
page, right, Ray?
look at here's what it's saving. Here's a choice what we can
See,
save
there's
that.
the choices right there. Go ahead, Greg.
First off, I'm going to put it on the desktop, so I don't have to go searching for it later. So you get a choice of save it as a page source or a web archive. I don't find much of a difference there, but let's go ahead and save.
I've gone to both, and it still goes back to Yahoo.
Okay, now take a look at this right over here. There's the icon I just did. Do a right mouse click on it, do a get info on it, and see what it says, open with. You see this option right here, open with? It's saying Safari. So if I double click that icon, or if I double click that desktop icon, it will open up in whichever program I've got to save with. But I can force it to open it up in text edit if I want to, or into Evernote if I want to. Do you understand what I'm saying? So something is probably, so Ray, right now, go select one of the items that opens up with Yahoo and do a get info on it and tell us what it says.
So just man, I'm still, mine's a 12-year-old machine here, so
So is mine. Mine is too. Mine's a 2011 or something like that. I can't spend the
I'm
money.
version 10.11.6, El Capitan.
Okay, that doesn't make any difference. It still works the same way.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't make very much difference, if any. But so go ahead.
Do
Okay,
a right mouse click on one of those that opens up with Yahoo. And
Well,
see
I
what,
have your screen. Your screen's in front of me right now. So how do I work on top of your screen?
well,
I'll come back to it. It was one of my questions, and so I'll work around this. I know how to work around it. It was just I'm wondering why it was doing what it was doing.
Now, see, that's not the same problem I'm having with it.
okay, now wait a minute. Okay, now up here in the upper, I don't know whether your screen looks exactly the same as mine. I'm sharing my desktop right now. So in the upper right-hand corner, do you get an option, Ray, that says exit full screen?
No, I have all the pictures of you guys.
No, forget that. In the very, very upper right-hand corner,
Oh,
in the very
okay.
upper right-hand corner, do you get a clock, speaker view, or gallery view? And then also the option to exit full screen?
Well, I'm clicking on each one of these. Open save folder. I have, let's see, Zoom. I have mute stuff. Record options. I have a clock. I have
No.
my.
In the upper right-hand corner here, where I'm at right now on mine.
Oh, on yours. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, exit full screen.
Excuse me. Do you see it? Okay. On
Yeah.
your screen, click on exit full screen. Click on it.
I'm on
should.
yours. It does nothing. Oh, okay, it just did. I think.
Now I did. Well, you're looking at my screen, so I don't know whether you're seeing me or you're doing it on yours.
I don't either.
Greg, can you set it so that Ray's screen is being shared out to all of us instead of yours?
I can't do it. He has to do it. I can
Okay,
stop my share. And he
I've
can
got
share
like
it.
I have like 4 screens showing here.
Okay, talk him through doing that. Why don't you, Greg?
Well, let's come back to this another time. Well, I don't want to waste people's time. So,
Okay, the point I was getting at, Ray,
okay.
the point I was getting at is that if I'm back on my desktop, you see that icon I just selected in the upper right corner there? This one here, select your AirPods. You see that icon there?
Oh, okay. Select it. Yeah, there we go.
If I right mouse click it and go to get info and look down, I have all these opened up, but if I look down the get info, there's one that says open with. This is the program that when you double click an icon, it will open with, but you can change that. In my particular case, this particular icon that I'm selecting can be opened up. As you can see, its default is Safari, but it can be opened up in Evernote. It can be opened up in any file, which is a program. It can be opened up in TextEdit. Now, if I go select, let's say, my Macintosh hard disk and do a get info on that, and see, it doesn't even have it open with because it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't logically make sense. How about the folder?
Yeah, you need another document of some sort or a folder.
Even the folder doesn't do it. There is no open with there because
No.
they're so generic. That's why.
Only documents, I think. Only files, not folders.
What I'm saying, what you want to do, okay, if I select this is a screen snap. This is just a screen snapshot. Let me close this so you're not seeing so much junk up here on the screen.
I don't know which is my screen, which is yours. There
It's
we
a little confusing at times, Greg.
Okay. So if I go select this,
Catalina Island.
If I select this right now and do a get info on it, which you can do a command I and you'll get the same thing, and go down to where it says open with, see it's selected there, it says open this document with preview. That's its default. You see that?
Okay, open. Okay.
All right. Now, if I pop this open,
But I don't get that if I click on it. If I click on the screen there, it automatically goes to Yahoo search.
That's if you double click on it, not if you single click.
Right.
you're gonna select it and do a command I, which is a get info, or a right mouse click and get info, same thing.
I don't have a right mouse click on mine. I've got
Okay,
a.
then you can hold down the control key and do a mouse click on it, or you can do a command. You can select it and do a command I. It's the same thing.
Okay.
All right. So if I select this one right here that says screenshot, do a command I on it, it gives me a get info window. Okay. Look in the get info window. Just pay attention to what I'm saying here. Look down in the get info window.
Okay.
And these little pop open arrows, you might have them all closed. I usually leave them all open. You see there?
No,
Okay. So if you find the one that says open with, that's the default program that when you double click on that icon, that's the program that will open up that icon. However, here's what I'm getting at, Ray. If you pop, this can be expanded.
right.
And if I pop that open, maybe I don't want that to open with preview. I want it to open up with Firefox. Okay. So now when I double click that the next time, it will start up Firefox. Watch what happens when I do it. And there's Firefox right there. I'm going to say don't allow right now because I don't want Firefox running, so I'm going to go ahead and kill it. Okay, so what I'm saying is if yours might say open to Yahoo or something like that. You get the point I'm getting at? You can change default because maybe I've got both Adobe Acrobat and Preview. I happen to like Preview better than I do Acrobat. But I don't have Acrobat on here at the moment. I don't have Acrobat Reader on here at the moment. And I want it to open up in the so-called default programs. But I can have that particular kind of file can open up in anything. So what I'm saying is check one of those ones that does open up in Yahoo, do a get info on it, go see what it's set for a default. Now, here's the interesting point. They're doing it to all of them. So if I wanted that to always open up in Firefox, that particular type of document, which is a quote PDF, it's a preview possible. If I click down here on change all, I'm not saying you did this, something else on your computer might have caused this. If I click on change all, then anything that would normally open up in preview would open up in Firefox. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Because the default way the program opens.
Greg?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it possible that something put an app on his computer
Yes, I'm getting to
that when you double click on something, it's going to that app instead of the browser, and through that app, it's sending it to the Yahoo page in the browser. It was acting as an intermediary, in other words.
Yes. In fact, Ray, didn't you bring this up like last month or a month or two ago?
Yeah, and I even download how do you turn off Yahoo Safe Search.
And I got on the phone at the time. With Leo Laporte, who was on vacation, and talked to Rich DeMuro from KTLA Channel 5, who's their tech guy. And he said, download Mac Cleaner. The free version would fix that problem. Did you ever do that?
No, because so oftentimes the freebies turn into, then they send you a bill.
Well, no, wait. This was being recommended only if you don't give them a credit card, they can't send you a bill. But I downloaded the trial version of it. I didn't have your problem, but
Okay.
Rich suggestion was to download the trial version and see if that would solve it. He thought it probably would. And I know
I will try that later later here.
Okay.
I always hesitate to sign up for these things.
It's usually a pretty safe bet if one of the guys on national TV is recommending it.
Okay. Well, I didn't see that part.
Not always. Well, yeah, I know. I explained this to you at one of the other meetings. I know I did.
So anyway, I like your picture of Catalina.
Well, that happens to be, this is a beta of the new Catalina operating system.
Ah, okay. That's the East End.
So, in other words, Ray, maybe there's a program somewhere on your computer. Perhaps it's in your apps folder, maybe it's in your utilities folder, and maybe it's somewhere else. But somewhere we think there might be an app, and who knows what it's called. It might be called AOL Launcher. It might be called something more devious that doesn't even sound like AOL. And when you double click one of those files, it's opening that app instead of directly opening the browser. And all that app may be doing is opening the browser for you and then sending you to a specific web page, which is hard coded into that app, namely Yahoo or some page on their site. If that's what's happening, one way to get rid of it is if you can track down what the name of that app is or what it's called, you may be able to just delete the darn app and fix this. But you may have to then change those files to open with something else, like the browser you want or something.
Yeah.
Ray could always do that. Ray could always do this. Select the item. Since you don't have a 2-button mouse. You don't have a 2-button mouse, Ray?
No, I've got the super, the super
Magic mouse?
The magic mouse.
There's 2 buttons on it. You just haven't enabled it. All you
The
gotta do
magic is the buttons aren't buttons.
the buttons aren't buttons. They're in the face of that mouse. They're in the.
Okay, well, I've never used it. I just push on the top of it, and that's what makes things work.
But you can go into system preferences and change that and turn on that second click if you want to. However, you can also get to that second click. Well, there's my option there. If I hold down the command key, oops, sorry, not the command key, but the control key. There. See, I got the same thing. If I select the item, hold down the control key, and push the mouse button, it's the same as a right mouse click. You with me? You can get a right mouse click by holding down the control key and clicking the only mouse button you get. And look at this. You have an option not only to do a get info, but you can open that particular icon up with other compatible programs on your system. So
Okay,
even though, let me finish.
Temporary open. That opens at one time only. If you change it in get info, it's a more permanent sort of open.
I'm doing that right now, and it opens a new folder, get info, paste item, change desktop background, clean up by, sort by, show view options.
You're looking at the Finder.
Yeah, see, look at that. If I just click on the Finder and hold the control key, that's the options I get.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
These are called.
Select an icon first, right?
But see, if I just push it down, I get nothing. But if I'm-
These are called contextual menus. They vary depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah.
So if you hold down the control key and touch the desktop, there's what you get. If you hold down the control key and touch an icon, there's what you get. See if you get an option to change to other stuff, just to see. I'm not saying it's going to solve the problem. I just want to know because I can't see your screen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting different ones by putting it. Okay. Good. I'll play with that and see what happens. So, okay. Back to the show.
Robert, did you manage? I have Robert. How are you doing? Did you manage to catch any of that? You may have to unmute yourself there.
Well, I've got other noises going on. I didn't want to be disruptive. Just plugging in. What's that?
You are a little dingy.
Yeah, right, exactly. But no, I didn't actually. What I was hearing was somebody is not making effective use of their right mouse click ability.
Or doesn't even know that his mouse has that ability.
I didn't know. I didn't
Gotta
know.
go into system preferences, go to mouse, and you can see that option for the second right mouse click.
He was willingly ignorant.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little there.
I said he was willingly ignorant.
Right. The whole
Yes.
idea, he says that whenever he makes a clipping from within Safari and puts it on his desktop, when he goes to double click it later, where it normally would take him back into Safari, it's taken him to Yahoo something or other.
Yahoo search.
It's taken him to the Yahoo search, yahoo.com search field.
So he's on a web page, Robert. He saves that web page out to his desktop as a file. Then later when he goes back and double clicks that file on the desktop, instead of opening back up in the browser, he's saying it takes him to a Yahoo web page or Yahoo site
Yahoo search.
or Yahoo search site in the browser.
And what is your default? If you open a new tab, what happens?
Ray, did you go?
If you open a new tab, what happens?
try?
You just do a Command T. If you just hit a Command T to open a new tab, what happens? What's the result on that new tab?
Command P.
T.
T is
Tom.
Okay. Command T. I get clicks. You get nothing but clicks.
Okay, go to the file menu and look for an item that says Command T or a new tab.
Just getting clicks.
Hey, it's time to get a new computer.
Yeah, yeah. moving right along.
You can fix almost any problem by throwing enough money at it.
Yeah.
You know, buy more RAM or buy a new computer. Computer's slow, buy more RAM.
Take it to the gurus.
Use the file menu up at the top, the list of words. The first one should say Safari, if that's what you're using. Using Safari or Firefox?
No, I'm in Yahoo. I'm in Safari.
Okay, go to the Safari menu. Go to the right of that, should be a file menu. Go down from that and go to a new tab.
I'm
I'll show you. I'll show you.
I'm clicking on Yahoo, and I mean, oh God. Let's move on, because otherwise, the deeper I get, the more lost I'm going to get.
Okay, you see the Safari web page on your screen that I'm at. If I go up to File, there's an option that says New Tab. If I click on New Tab, I have it go to the blank, but you can change this. You can go over to, let me see if I can remember where the hell, I'm sorry, go into Preferences.
System preferences.
And
Yeah.
not System Preferences, Safari Preferences.
Well, it doesn't say Safari preference.
You have to, are you in Safari? Is Safari the menu option up here at the top on your screen?
It doesn't say that. No.
What does it say to the right of the Apple menu?
To the right, Zoom US.
Then go click on Safari. Go click on the Safari program.
Okay, which is over the side, and I clicked on it just now.
Okay, now does it say the word Safari up there in the upper left-hand corner?
No, I clicked on Safari and I brought up the Zoom goodie.
You have more than one program running at the same time, Ray. You can do
Okay.
you can do the command key and the tab key. Look at that. See how I can switch between the programs that are currently running? So here's Zoom. Zoom's now my active most program. If I do another command key, I can get to the Safari. Now Safari's the one that's in front.
Remember, I started out, Safari can't find the server.
Well, obviously you've got network access because you're talking on Safari right now.
Okay, well, this
You're
is
connected
why,
to us through some kind of a
why I'm confused. Because, oh God. I don't want to take your guys' time up doing this. This is
well, that's what this first hour is for, Ray, is to solve these kind of problems.
okay.
10 o'clock, we'll talk about the new operating system. That's what I had said in the email.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is click on Safari, make that your active program, the one that's being displayed on the screen with the word Safari up there in the upper left-hand corner.
Oh, okay. Safari is there now.
Okay, now watch. If you go to the word Safari and come down to preferences, these are not system preferences. Every program on your computer, damn near every program on your computer, has its own unique preferences. Now we're in Safari preferences. The first option is general. This first option here says, when you first open Safari, what do you want it to do? Do you want it to go to a new window, new blank window, a new private window? Do you want it to go, when you first open Safari, do you want it to open up all the windows from the last session? Or do you want non-private windows from the last session? My choice is I have it go to a new window. When you open up a new window, what do you want it to do? I have it go to favorites. This is the favorites panel right there. Because 9 out of 10 times I'm using one of these here. I'm using B of A, or I'm using the Trip Wizard because I'm planning my trip. I'm using a program called Passport America, or I'm using Amazon. The frequently visited programs I use will show up in the frequently visited. But here are favorites that I've got. And I can look at other favorites. So I can go to RV parks, I can go to Yelp, I can go to whatever. I have it open to that one. So let's go back over here to preferences again, to Safari preferences. Let me bring that back up. When I open a new tab, what do I want it to do? I can have a tab go to my top site. I can have it go to whatever I've designated as a home page. I can have it go to an empty page, or I have it go to a same page. I want a new tab to be the same as a new window. So I have it go to, I have it go to my favorites, since that's where a new window goes to. But if I always wanted it to go to Apple, I could say I want it to go to my home page, and every time I open up a brand new tab, it would always go to the apple.com website. This could be any website you want. You may have this inadvertently set to be yahoo.com.
No, I'm looking at right now, and it's http://Safari.
For homepage?
For homepage. Because I've got a duplicate next to yours as you're moving yours. I have a picture of mine.
That sounds like a mistake, an accident.
That does sound like a mistake there. I would just highlight it like it is right now and do this, clear it out.
Right.
And I would change the new tabs to open up to
Something else.
Empty page, let's say, as an example. That means when you create a brand new tab, it'll open up a new page. I'll do that right now. I'll create a brand new.
Should I put new page or just empty? What should I put there?
For what, homepage?
Yeah.
If you don't have a page that you want it to go to, I didn't want to waste the time for it to redraw a page I don't need to be on. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And
So
I go to you. Let me finish. I go to YouTube a lot. The only reason I don't put YouTube in here is because I don't want to go to YouTube and wait for it to draw all the icons on the screen. if
Right.
I don't want to go to YouTube. There's no way to really interrupt it. So I leave it set to blank, me personally. You don't have to worry about it. Just change new tabs to open with an empty page. Safari opens up with a new window. New window opens with favorites or empty page here. Change that to empty page here again as you want. And every time you start Safari up, it'll go to a blank. When you start it up, not when you're clicking on something else, when you start up a brand new tab or a brand new window, it'll open to a blank, empty page. This is designed this way so you can customize it any way you want to.
Okay. Okay, so I've changed to empty page, new tab, empty page, and I put home page Safari, or just leave that
No,
blank.
leave it. It doesn't make any difference. You can put Floyd in there if you want to, because you're not the buttons of the menu options above it don't say home page. The only reason you could go to any page, if we still had an OACC website, I used to have this set to OACC website. We don't have it
Yeah.
anymore. I didn't see any reason to spend $150 a year for something nobody uses.
Right.
So I dropped that. So there is no official OACC website because it's pointless. I haven't got the time to screw with it anymore. So the only thing the club is spending money on at all is buying Zoom once a year. That's it.
Right. So moving down, remove this history item after one day. I have after one day.
That's fine. That's your choice.
Okay, favorite shows, it says web search. What should I put there?
Okay. That can be anything you want it to. What this is saying. Let me see if I can get this out of the way here. Here's my favorites right here. Here's my personal favorites. So when I bring up that preference window there, I can have it, rather than showing this overall page, I could specify I want it to come up on RV trips. And that's what that's going to do is when I open up a brand new window, that's going to open up this. I don't want it to do that. So I have it just go to favorites. That's me personally, Ray.
Meeting.
You can customize this any way you want to. That's the whole idea behind this.
Okay, because I don't mess with these pages in here because I don't know what they do. And like tabs, autofill, password, search, security, all these others, I don't mess with them.
Oh yeah, but they're conveniences for your convenience.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what to do with them. I'm just so I don't mess with them at all. So
Well, you know what you can always do is whenever you got it working the way you want to, open this up and take a screen snapshot. Boom, Command Shift 3. I've just taken a screen snapshot of that page.
right,
And
okay,
now, in case I screw something up, I can always go back to that page. I can always
Yeah.
rename that icon out there Safari General, and then rename Safari Tab, and rename one Safari Autofill, and one called Safari Passwords, and put those all in a folder of Safari Settings. And then if I change something and I don't like the way it was, and I can't remember what it was before, I can always go click on that one that said Safari Tabs as an example, and set it back the way it was. That's the advantage of being able to do that. I think what I need to do is I need to get online with you after hours or whatever it is, and we'll try something like that.
yeah, sounds good. So anyway, my comment's always been, I know just enough to be dangerous.
Well, that's how you learn.
But I don't do enough different stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't do enough different stuff like you guys do. It just, I do my, emails, and I do my banking. I do stuff like that on there. And I'm not writing manuscripts. I'm not doing a lot of professional things.
Well, you know what you can always do in case one of us isn't available to help you, you could always get on, you can always call. I've talked to Leo Laporte on KFI 6-8 times, something like that. You have to get online. You have to get in the order.
Right.
You know, you have to dial up the phone number. You have to wait online and listen to all the crap.
Yeah.
I talked to him a few weeks ago. You know, he's real good. And it just so happened the day that I called, just after we had talked to you 2 or 3 months ago, Leo was on vacation, and I got a hold of Rich DeMuro from KTLA Channel 5, and he was the one that suggested what I had suggested to you at the time.
I will try Mac Cleaner sometime today.
And
after I
don't
get
buy
back.
it. Just download the trial version.
Yeah,
and
the
see if
trial
it solves the
version.
problem.
Does Leo remember you when you call back?
Not enough. So every now and then he'll mention something like 2 years ago when we started doing this web thing. I said that I was doing this on the web, and he got on the club website right away to see what it was like. Of course, we don't have it anymore because it seemed pointless. We weren't bringing in any new people, so why bother to spend the money? But I'm just doing this out of the goodness of my heart while
There
I'm still.
you go.
At least this month and next month, come September and October, you're out of luck. I'll be traveling in Canada again. So
What happens when you call?
do this. Go ahead.
When you call, you get the that girl there that answers the phone, the screen.
That's right. And I'll tell you, one of the tricks is, Bob, is if you can make the question sound interesting. You know, I told him I was calling for a friend of mine that's having this issue, and I don't know how to solve it. And Rich came up with that answer. I never would have thought of trying an actual program out there. That I try to stay away from those like everybody else does, but only because I don't want to buy anything anymore. I'm past the point of spending money unless I have to spend money.
By the way, speaking of Mac Cleaner, I think we should point out that there's another one with a confusingly similar sounding name called Mac Keeper.
Yeah, that one you definitely don't
That
want.
one, not good. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get started, but Greg, you could summarize the difference or why you wouldn't want Mac Keeper despite what they say.
Well, it's my understanding that it tends to create problems to make you want to have to buy their service.
Yeah. And some of the things it does, I think, are things that don't really need to be done, you know, like deleting old preferences, maybe one of the things it does, maybe, from programs you don't have anymore. Okay, that's cleaning it up, but it doesn't really hurt anything. You're saving such a small amount of hard drive space, it's not worth it. And yes, it's uncluttering your preferences folder, but who needs that, you know? What difference if it's cluttered?
I mean, if you really wanted to do it right, the way to do it would be to start out with a fresh drive, load the operating system, download all the programs the way you want to, and now you got to. But who wants to go through that crap every time?
Exactly.
So
Mac Cleaner, good. Mac Keeper.
Yeah. If we're going to recover all this disk space and all this kind of junk, you're going to save maybe 20 or 30 megs of disk space. If you're that critical on disk space, you shouldn't be playing with a computer.
Right. So Mac Cleaner, good or okay at least.
Yeah, but
Mac
don't buy
Keeper,
use the free trial version.
right. Mac Keeper, bad. Don't even try Mac Keeper.
Mac Keeper's the one with the goofy looking little robot thing, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. I just know to stay away from it and tell other people the same. But we were worried in the other club about getting possibly sued by the people behind Mac Keeper because apparently they've been aggressive that way about people that talk bad about them. So since we webcast our club meetings, anybody can see them, you know. So we actually turned off the webcast while we told people, you know, don't do this, you know, leave it alone, so that way no one would be the wiser and Mac Keeper wouldn't sue us or anything.
They couldn't do anything to you anyway.
Well, they probably not, but you know, free speech being what it is, I don't know if they could really do anything. But
well, they could put you in a position where you had to hire an attorney to respond to their complaint, even though any judge in town would throw it out of court simply because you're exercising your First Amendment rights.
yeah, but they could still probably harass you somewhat, but
well,
you know, I mean,
at some point, if they continue to harass you, you could then actually sue them for harassment and probably win a pretty good judgment against them.
Probably, I don't know, but
Yeah.
why even bother? Why not just avoid the hassle in the first place, you know?
That's
I have
true.
a question.
I've got a question that's just presented itself. I'm in the gallery view right now, and something I've never seen has come up. Between Stuart's picture and Bruce's picture, centered on the line that separates them, a little window is up there, and it has two choices on it, chat and pin video. Right now, there's a blue highlight around chat. What does pin video mean, and has anybody else had that come up?
I've seen it occasionally, but it never bothered me. I just do something else and it goes away.
Yeah, well, I'm curious what pin video means. I've never heard that term before.
I think it makes a freeze of your image and then it stays that way.
Well, pin video will mean leave this video here regardless of other people that come in or go away. I want this person, this video person to always remain in this particular place. Lock this person here.
Oh,
I
that-
see.
I thought you were saying ping, P-I-N-G, but you're saying pin, P-I-N.
That
Yeah.
would make sense if we had more than 50 people, because you can only display 50 on these screens at a time. And you might want to pick the 50 people you really care about, and the hell with the Frank or Richard who have their video images turned off. That makes sense.
Right, I think Robert's right. I think pin means to fix it in a certain place, as if you were sticking a pin through it on a corkboard or
Right.
something.
If you move your mouse over one of the small pictures, if you're in the gallery view, you'll see you get an option for mute, and then you also get the three ellipses, or the ellipses, I should say, the three little dots, which means there's more options.
Yeah, and
Oh,
pin,
yeah, I see.
pin video is one of those.
One of the options.
Good catch on that, Greg. 3 ellipses would be 9.
I'm sorry? What'd you say, Robert?
I said 3 ellipses would be 9.
Yeah, would be 9. That's right. I forgot that an ellipse is 3, so, you know.